Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick. Today we have Elastigirl's Rooftop Pursuit, one of the 3 Juniors Incredibles 2 sets, released in coincidence with the movie. And this set contains 95 pieces. It's set number 10759. It contains 2 minifigures and retails for $19.99. In addition to the rooftop build that gives this set its name, we get a little helicopter built around the Juniors helicopter mold parts, with the whole single piece, what's the word? Single piece helicopter frame, I guess, that contains the seat, like all this dark blue on the top. This is all one piece, really all this dark blue here. And while that's, kind of a limited building experience, I do think that it is a pretty decent looking helicopter, at least. So it doesn't bug me too much. I do think that it is not the greatest of builds. You'll notice it has this little tracker, 1x1 cylinder on the little base. At least that's what I assume it is. I don't think it's just a light, because I am pretty sure that I built it correctly. I'm starting to question myself now, but I believe that's only supposed to be on one of the... Yeah, that is only supposed to be on one of the bases. I just confirmed it with my single instruction booklet that I'll mention right now. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but we've got the Incredibles video game, and that's about it. Other than that, it's just instructions and Juniors. So, And there is room for a single figure in the cockpit, which looks okay. I mean, the bubble canopy works decently enough. There's a printed slope piece in there, and it's just a seat that you can sit the screenslaver in. There's a little bit of space back behind him that you can access by opening the back, which is hinged. You do have this rotating propeller, and then the one on the top, which has this dish on there that's designed to hypnotize you. But that's appropriate for the screenslaver character, actually, and the dish is exclusive to the set. It's okay, but I think that this is the least impressive part of the set. Mainly because this rooftop looks pretty good, actually, for a Junior set. It's not super duper extra detailed, but I think that it has all of the little features that it really needs, and it's just kind of, you could throw this on top of a regular building of your own design and it wouldn't look too bad. There is a laptop computer piece that's just added here because screens. See? There's a little fan up on this roof here, and that can kind of be rotated back and forth, but it's locked in place by these wedge pieces. It's just not the sturdiest of things. There's this little container of something. This little dish, which I like the fact that it uses a lightning piece, because those are cool. But, it can angle up and down. It does not look great from the back, that dish, just because that's red, which is weird. And also there's some red, which is a little bit out of place here, but from the front you can't see it, so it looks alright. You also have this little panel fence piece. And I like the use of the bricks in this place. There's a couple on the sides of the helipad as well, which the H on the helipad looks a little bit deformed, but it does allow this to slot right in between there. Because I would have liked a wider H, but I do appreciate the playability that this provides, because, you can perfectly slot this on there. So that's cool. Maybe they could have gone with 1x6s, but, those wouldn't have fit on top of here. It's just not possible. And I think the coolest part of this little build is this little this billboard, and that's got one of these pieces here, and they kind of print the bottom of one here because they didn't want the sign to be a square. I kind of prefer to think of it as this is all one sign that's stuck on the top of this post, and it just wants to make it look like that. There's also some lights on the top. It's attached in kind of a weird way, but, you know, it works for a junior set. I do think that this is a pretty good looking build on the whole. The helicopter doesn't look all that great while it's here. I don't know, it doesn't look bad, but maybe if you were to just remove this piece, yeah, I guess it looks a little bit less cartoony and bad if you just remove that one dish. So, you know, maybe I'd recommend doing that if you want to use this on display. Lastly, there is a bike included, and Elastigirl has a bike prominently in the film, so, you know, obviously it should be for her, right? Well, with her big stretchy arms, she really can't use the bike very effectively. So, you know, that's a complaint about here. Maybe they should have included the bike in the other set, you know, just a thought. But, I mean, it's cool to get a bike here. It just doesn't really work with the figures included. Maybe we needed a third figure to ride the bike, or maybe we needed an extra Elastigirl torso so you could swap between the two torsos. But, you know, there is another version of Elastigirl in one of the other sets, and you could, if you wanted to, take that Elastigirl if you bought the other set and use it with this bike. And here's a look at Elastigirl. She has these stretchy arms that were first used for Miss Marvel from Marvel superhero sets, and you can move her arm, you know, all the way to one side, so she's got a really big long arm, or she can have two like medium length long arms. And the ends, these black parts, are hard plastic, and they do have regular minifigure hands that you can turn, so they aren't, you know, locked. You don't have to twist the arm to turn her hands. You can turn them normally without twisting the arm. And in one of her hands, she comes with this remote accessory, which has a printed tile on there. That's cool, I guess, with the whole screen thing. The torso printing is exactly the same as the other version of her, which has normal arms. It's just this one is different because it's a different molding. Because if you look at the top of the torso, you'll see it's kind of got this top section here that is inserted after the tube to lock the tube in place. It's kind of a more complex molding, but it is printed exactly the same. No back print. And the legs are printed the same as Violet and Mr. Incredible, which is cool. They're dual molded, and I think they look good. Her face print, I think it would have been really nice if, since she's the only one of the Incredibles that gets two figures, you know, she's in two of the sets, I think that that's acceptable because she is a very, very prominent character in the movie. She's probably more prominent than the rest of the characters from the family. Her face prints are good, but I think that since she's in two sets, they should have used a different set of prints, just because that would have added a little bit more variety. And, you know, I think that would have been cool, but they did not do that. Those are the same. I like her hairpiece, though, and that mold is brand new for her character between the two sets. This screensaver looks really good. The torso is nicely printed and pretty accurate. Same with the back of the torso. The legs are gunmetal gray. And this is all one piece up here, this mask. It's not a separate goggle piece. So, this figure is pretty good, Screenslaver. He's got a good torso printing for the front and the back. His head is actually, I'm not going to show you the front of it yet, for reasons, but his headpiece is actually, you know, all one part with the black and the gray. I believe the black is just printed on there. And I also like the printing for the eyes. But I thought this was going to be a regular helmet with goggles, and it's not, so I'm impressed by the new molding there. And the legs are just regular, standard gunmetal gray legs. Now, I'm going to get into spoilers for Incredibles 2 here for just a minute. And if you have not seen the movie, then you should probably, like, skip forward about a minute or so. But that's your last warning. The character underneath the mask is, or well, he looks a lot like Winston Dever from, you know, the movie. He's a major character, and he's trying to pretend to be a good guy, right? And here's the deal: we all thought Lego had spoiled the movie with this figure. This was actually the best red herring of all Lego spoilers. Because Winston's not the screenslaver at all. It's his sister, Evelyn Dever, which, you know, that's kind of what I expected, hearing her name, and she's in the shadows in like every shot, so like she was kind of obviously the screenslaver, and she never actually wears the mask. It's Pizza Delivery Guy that wears the mask and gets caught as screenslaver. So, you know, there's that. But actually, I guess she probably does when she records all this stuff. Never mind. But anyway, I was actually, I felt like knowing the face print underneath here made the movie a little bit better for me, because I was expecting that Evelyn would just be a red herring and it was really Winston the whole time. But it wasn't. The movie was still really good, so I would definitely recommend seeing it if you haven't already. And, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the screenslaver figure. I think he's cool, but, you know, there is a little bit of inaccuracy with the face print. However, you know, it's not really about the face, it's about the mask, because whoever wears the mask is, you know, being controlled by the real screenslaver. So, you know, gotta keep that in mind. But anyway, let's get back to the final verdict. Overall, I think this is a really, really good set. I think that both of the figures are really well done. And, you know, it's a little bit disappointing that Mrs. Incredible, Elastigirl, can't, you know, switch between having these stretchy arms and having normal arms. So that's a little bit disappointing to me. But, you know, that's kind of a limitation just with the type of piece that is. The only other thing they could have done is included a second torso, which they did not. But I'm glad that there is another version of the character in a different set who has a regular torso. The Screenslaver is a perfect minifigure, if nothing wrong with him, except for the minor thing I talked about with the spoiler discussion in the center of this video. And, you know, even that doesn't really bug me much at all. The bike, I think, is a little bit of a weird inclusion. I'm glad they included it instead of just not including it, because I don't think they would have been able to put anything else in there. It was either include this or just leave this as the set. So, you know, it's nice to get the bike here. It just doesn't quite work with this version of Elastigirl. But the actual rooftop build looks really, really nice, and the helicopter looks okay. I think that this piece up here is what really kind of ruins it, but that adds, you know, that makes it the Screenslaver's helicopter. So, you know, and it's easy enough to remove. So I think that the rooftop, really good. This is alright. The price of this set is a little bit high. I guess it's mainly the helicopter that gives you that added value there. Because this, I would say, maybe is a $10 to maybe $15 set I could see. I guess the helicopter is, I wish that would have been not included, and you know, they could reduce the price of the set. But I'm not too mad about paying 20 for this. It's, I don't know, I feel like I should be more mad about the price than I am, so, you know, just keep that in mind. But overall, I do think that this is a good set. I think it looks better than the Great Home Escape. The figure selection is worse because it's a smaller set, so, you know, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. And even when I say that this is a better looking set, it's not like a super duper impressive, put this on your shelf and everyone will be wowed. It's like, you know, I could see keeping this assembled. But, you know, take that all with, you know, a grain of salt. If you think it looks good, then it looks good. If you don't think it looks good, then it doesn't look good. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys all next time. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.